It's a blessing to welcome on the first member of Northwestern's one of the highest recruiting classes ever, Julian Roper. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here right now.
Absolutely, man. Well, let's just get right into this. This has been a crazy year so far. You were able to go on some visits though, and you ultimately know that you're going to Northwestern. Just take us through how you're feeling though.
I'm just feeling good. Northwestern they've been kind of proving themselves
Mhm.
throughout this year. I know it's been still kind of up and down, but they've been proving themselves playing against some good talent, and that just shows like when I come in what we can look like, and how far they've came from even just last year, and then the growth that can happen within a year, and then when I get there, hopefully even more growth could happen. So it's just a young team, and it's just a good experience, and like it's just fun being like even being committed there.
Mhm.
It's just fun all around, everything about it. So yeah, it's just a major blessing just to be able to have this opportunity to go there.
For a long time, I think Northwestern was kind of that school that we knew they were in the Big Ten, but they weren't ever really relevant. They were more towards the bottom always. But as you said, coaches really got this program up and going now. They're competing, started 3-0 in Big Ten, lost a few games now, but they're just competitive. They're a much better team now. How excited are you for this future?
Yeah, I'm excited. Like just the Brooks and Casey, those two guys coming in with me,
Mhm.
we're just all excited. We always talk about it, and we just can't wait to get in and get to work. I believe we go in June, and so we just excited to step foot on campus, just get to work with the rest of the team.
Let's go into this recruiting class. You guys are one of the highest in Northwestern history. You guys have two guys that are in the top 10 according to 247. You're number eight. Casey's number two. But how special is this group and how excited are you for you to kind of see what you guys can get done for your career there?
It's just crazy just how that's we are like the start of something different there,
Mhm.
like that, and that's was the main thing of us going there, just trying to build our own story. A lot of schools they already have records that's been set or been broken and things like that. So that was a big deal of all three of us, Brooks, Casey, and me, committing there.
You were the first guy down. You kind of had the face. You're kind of the face of the recruiting class. People knew that you're the kind of the guy's going to go out there and recruit the players. How'd you approach that, and how'd you kind of get Casey? Did you get Brooks? Did you talk to him prior to them committing? Kind of take us through you as a recruiter.
Yeah, the first time I met Brooks, I met him on a visit at Northwestern, so he was real cool. And then I figured he played with Indiana Elite, and then I found out we would be playing them down in Indiana during AAU. So it was just I talked to him a lot, got his number, and just locked in with him. And I just talked to him ever since. So like almost like every day, just talking about Northwestern and stuff like that. And then the day when he committed, it was a surprise. Like he didn't tell anybody. And I texted him like, bro, so you gotta make this move, bro. And
Mhm.
he was like, don't tell no one yet, but I'm committed and stuff like that. And then a couple of days later, he announced it, post and all that stuff. So it was really exciting. And then with Casey, I with him, when I committed, Northwestern told me about him. That was another main guy that they were really looking at. And so I just got in contact with him, got his number, locked in with him too, talked to him. I talked to him a lot, almost like every day too, before he committed. And so just building that relationship, and I guess with me being a recruit that's like basically a top recruit going there, and so that opened it up for the other two guys to have confidence and go there too. Because like with that, with the team that they were last year, some people might be shaky about going there and things like that. So that was just a big part of like me just being a big part of the getting to get to know the players and the recruits and stuff, and people that they want, and just being a scout basically. Yeah, now that after I committed, so that was a big part of getting those two guys.
Obviously, there's some guys you guys landed two of them, but also some guys you guys weren't able to get. I know
Right.
originally you were looking at something like Tamar Bates. He was going out to Texas. A couple other guys were in the mix, but take us through how you kind of adjusted to that. And when there was a guy like Tamar or anyone else, you kind of decided that maybe they go a different direction. How did you kind of adjust to that? How did you just kind of react to that part?
Well, it was Tamar. I met him because he he played with Ty Berry, who's on
Mhm.
Northwestern now. So we were like in a group chat, and it was me, Tyberry, and Tamar, and it was just a cool relationship. Even though he didn't end up going, I wasn't right. I wasn't really upset about it, but like if we had him, it would have been better. But
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really upset about him not going there. But yeah, I'm still cool with him. I still talk to him sometimes. Another guy I was trying to get was Jaden Akins, went to state. He's from back home, and we always compete. We used to play on the same team, and that's my guy. I talk to him a lot too. So when he didn't come, it was also the same feeling as tomorrow. I was like, well, it would have been better with him, but they made the best decision that they feel they needed to make. So I'm happy for him, you know. And that's really much it on that part.
Jaden will be a guy that you're most likely going to play against quite a few times throughout your college career.
Yeah.
Just going against him or any other guy you've been teammates with through AAU high school, what is that going to be like?
Well, it'll be fun just playing against all my teammates. Like mostly all our team for Indy Heat went Big Ten, so
Mm-hmm.
we playing against Michi, Luke Goody, uh, Caleb. Just playing against those guys. Kalen Essler. I'll be playing against those guys. Like you said, Jaden Akins. Funny because it was me, Jaden Akins, and Pierre Brooks. We all played on the same team
Mm-hmm.
with a family at one point. So it'll just be fun playing against all those guys. A lot of junk talking. So it'll be fun just to get after it, just like how we used to in practice, really.
Out of all those guys, they're one guy you're the most excited to play against.
Nah, they're all the same to me, right? Like it's all just basketball to me, so I'm evenly excited to play all of them.
Absolutely. Now, you did mention a little bit ago that one of the biggest things that might have been harder to appeal guys to was that they didn't have the best year last year. They had a lot of losses. How did that sell you, though? When you're talking to Coach Collins, how did he tell you? What was his kind of pitch to you talking about? We lost games, but how do you kind of make up for that?
Right, like I mentioned about having your own legacy,
Mm-hmm.
just that part of having my own, like trying to create my own legacy, break records, things like that. Just making my own path and then starting the path to make it to where Northwestern is like a big contender, big name talked about in the Big Ten and things like that. So just really coming in and trying to make a name for the program, be one of the people to kickstart it and get it rolling.
That's going to be a hard thing to do. As I mentioned, this is the Big Ten. It's
Right.
obviously one of the better conferences in the
Yeah,
country.
it was crazy.
And this is even a year we see something like Michigan State's having a down year. You guys are ranked in front of them right now. But we know you're going to Michigan. They're going to become a dynamite team for a long time. The list goes on, though. So how do you be able to surpass these other programs that have history, that have the big names, big programs? How do you guys surpass them?
I mean, really, it'll just be it'll come down to just playing as hard as we can. Obviously, when I get there, things like that, it'll be game plans and all that stuff. So it's kind of hard to answer that question as of right now because I'm not there yet. So like, but for me, really, it's just basketball. But those will all be power teams. Um, like Michigan, Illinois, all those guys are going to be good for some time, and then hopefully we could just come around and come up in that category with those names, Michigan State, all those guys. So just going out there and competing, and that's really it. Like, cause it's really just basketball. So as long as we compete, I feel like we'll be able to have a chance to compete with anyone as long as we come up and compete as hard as we can each night.
You were someone that commit pretty early, and you commit during this whole COVID pandemic where there weren't too many visits going on. I know you took two of them the year prior to that, but how are you able to feel so comfortable committing so early on in this process?
Well, Northwestern, like it was one of the schools that were already high on my list when I took that visit. So that Northwestern was probably one of the top on my list. So was Wisconsin, Missouri, but Alabama. So just like those was all great schools, but just it was a real hard decision.
Mhm.
Um, but like I said, the thing I liked most about Northwestern was trying to create my own legacy and being in the best position possible for me. And I feel like that was the school to do it at. So I went with Northwestern.
You didn't necessarily have a top group, a final group. Who was in that mix? Though, if you would have had like a number two option, Northwestern wasn't an option for you. Who do you think that school might have been?
I don't know. That's tough to say. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that really,
Mhm.
but like I said, Alabama was up there. Wisconsin was up in my top. Like they recruited me real hard. I know because Lorne Bowman.
Mhm.
I went to school with him, so they recruited me real hard. So that was a hard decision just off him talking to Lauren every day, and then also with coaches staying in contact and stuff. So Wisconsin, I was a Wisconsin lock at one point. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure. So it was just a hard decision. Missouri, good connection with them, good relationships with them. So it was just all hard decisions. Um, but yeah, those are probably my top choices. Yeah, I would say.
And you only have a few more months left until you get on campus, but throughout the next few months, you guys hopefully have some form of season you guys get to go through. But what do you want to improve on and work on before you get to campus?
Just my overall game IQ wise, get better there, get better ball handling, shooting, consistent shooting, just my all around game. Cause I feel like I could do everything, just sharpening my skills. Really, that's what I look forward to doing before I get down there.
No doubt. Well, let's head into this high school scenario for you. You obviously gone through a couple of different moves, but last year you're at St. Mary's. You guys win the Catholic title. Obviously, get shut down because of COVID, but you guys were favorites to win that. Number one seed, dominating. Take us through last year's run, playing alongside Lauren. Just take us through that year.
Oh man, that was probably the most exciting year of basketball I've ever played. Just playing and building that camaraderie with that team. It was crazy. We had Lowe, we have Kareem Rozier, Jason Drake. Those just playing with all those guys, all good guys, and it really started our run. I believe our run was so good because of how good our practices was. Because we have multiple D1 guys going at it in the practice. So it'll be one day, it'll be me on the team by myself in practice, going against Deuce, Kareem, and Lowe, and just playing against those guys. Going at it, and it's not like just going against anybody and just walking over them. You're gonna have to put up a fight in practice. And that I feel like that just made our team better overall, so we can make that push and possibly win state championship. And I feel like that had a big part of us being number one ranked in Michigan.
Let's discuss Lauren because, as you mentioned, that's the guy that you are that guard too. You get to go against him, a proven player, one of the best players in the state last year. Going against him day in and day out at practice. How did that grow you, and what's some of the biggest things he helped you with, and you kind of learn from him?
Well, Low, he works very hard. So just going, seeing how he works and putting how I work with him, and just like trying to outwork him. Like he'll stay after, and I'll try to stay until he leave, and then I'll leave right after he leaves, and things like that. So really, I'll say work ethic was one of the things, and then his game is just crazy, like his mid-range game especially. So just guarding that and then trying to mimic it is really what I got from Low, I would say. He probably has one of the most unstoppable mid-ranges I've ever guarded, really. Yeah, that's one of the main things I got from him too, just that mid-range game. And also another thing about him, he's just poised. He's the same all the time, like never too big in the moment, never too low. So that's another thing. Just getting poised from him as well. That was another thing that I learned from him.
Yeah, obviously, he's going through his other situation right now, but so a lot of people haven't been able to see what he's capable of. A lot of people maybe even forgot about him. But
Yeah,
when everything settles down, he's able to get back out there. Whatever the situation is going to look like, what can the country expect from him? Do you think?
I think Low he'll be. I think he'll be the same. I think he'll be pretty good at Wisconsin. I think he'll get in, do what he expect. Not really what he expects to do. As a freshman, it's different, but I think he'll be good. And then that sophomore year, I think he'll take on an even bigger role there. So I expect big things from him, and I know he'll work his hardest to accomplish it. So that's really it. Like, yeah, a lot of people forgot about him just because he hasn't been playing, but I feel like he'll get that attention back on him once he gets started back up.
As for you, though, as I said, we hopefully have a season. We know things are up in the air. I know some stuff got canceled originally, and I guys are reviewing it. But let's say you guys have a season. You're going to be the main guy, the go-to guy on the team. How do you plan to lead this team, and what can the country kind of expect from you guys this year?
Really, just I'm gonna do anything to win. Really, that's really my main goal, to win. Whether it's go out there, score, go out there, get the game winning assist.
Mhm.
Just anything we need to do to win. That's really what I'm taking on as a leader this year. Just playing hard, leading the team. Like I said, doing anything that takes to win. Really, that's it.
I know some goals for guys could be possibly winning Gatorade Player of the Year. You're already discussing that, winning All State and all that stuff. But when you guys have the season, it wraps up. How would you say it'd be a successful year? What needs to go down for you to be able to call it a successful season for you?
State championship. That's it.
Mhm.
That's the only. That's probably the biggest accomplishment you can have. Like, a lot of people can't say, "Well, I won a state champion. I won a state championship in my state."
Mhm.
So really, that's really the biggest accomplishment, biggest goal. If I achieve that, then I'll feel like I accomplished my goal.
You did have the opportunity to go play some games recently. You're out in Arizona playing the grind session. Look good out there. Take us through what it was like just going out there and getting back on the court.
It was definitely different from back in Michigan, just playing against top teams, Prolific Prep, Bella Vista Prep. Who else did we play? We played team some I forgot, but just playing a lot of top talent.
Mhm.
It was definitely good, especially from not playing to going straight to playing top talent. It was good to just see where our team is playing against those teams and what we can work on, and then just trying to beat everybody back home, because we just played multiple top teams in the country, not just anybody. So that was probably the biggest part about playing those games. Really, just getting the experience, building the chemistry up. So when we do play these teams back home, um, I don't really see nobody stopping us after playing these games out in Arizona. So yeah, that was really just the main thing, just building that chemistry, playing against top guys. Yeah, that's it.
Being in Michigan, that's a state that we know is one of the better states out there. Not many states can claim right now that they have potentially two guys that are going to be considered top three picks in the draft eventually. You guys have Jaden Hardy from there, Monty Bates, and just a lot of guys that are in the discussion of top players in the country. But what's it like playing basketball out there?
It's I don't really know how to explain it because I've been playing out here all my life.
Mhm.
But when I went to Arizona, I could definitely tell the difference. Like, those guys, it's not a lot of guys that's just on teams just because, like, just playing for fun. Like, you could tell those guys want jobs, just like Imani,
Mhm.
and Hardy. Those guys want jobs. Like, and I feel like a lot of schools back home, it's a lot of teams that, or like just players in general, that just play for fun.
Mhm.
And so just seeing that difference, that's like what it is. I could see the difference in Michigan basketball compared to other states.
For you personally, though, out of all the teams you played in your high school career so far, who's your favorite one while playing in Michigan?
um we played last year. We played Aikens. That was probably one of my favorite teams. But one of the hardest teams probably was Jalen Terry with Flint Beecher. They were pretty good. They actually beat us. That was our only loss. And
Mhm.
then Ty Rogers, Grand Blanc, they're pretty solid team. And those are two of the best teams I've probably played. And those are probably two of the most exciting games I played in too, back home.
As for you, though, you play with Indy Heat, and just kind of take us to that team because there's a lot of talent on that roster. We see guys that you said a lot of them will be you're going to be playing them in college. A lot of top ranked great players. But what was it like just being a part of that team?
It was fun just playing with other great players. We
Mhm.
all just came together, we just play basketball. Really, multiple guys. Everyone can go, actually, not multiple guys. Everyone on that team could go, just like all other UIBL teams though. So just playing, just it was just fun, really. That's all I can say about that. It was fun playing with Blake, meet all those guys because they're all top talent, and just seeing what I can bring to the table with that team. It was just fun playing with them. Yep.
There's a few different routes you could have went. We see someone like Michi, obviously reclassed up and is playing college already. Other guys have been able to transfer around, go play at big prep school this year. Did any of that ever cross your mind? Did you ever think about going to campus early or even transferring to a bigger school to go play games this year?
Yeah, I actually looked into going early, but just when they had told us that our season would be on, we were actually set to play our first game January 23rd. So I didn't really go after it as much as that about going to campus early, but going prep that never really crossed my mind. Just the going early part, that was the only thing that I looked into really.
Gotcha. Well, a few more things before I let you go. One thing is that in your bio, you have heavy on it. Take us through what that means and why you have that there.
Yeah, so Inky, I watched one of his videos on Instagram, and he was just saying like, whatever you want to do, just go heavy on it. Like, don't stop. So like, I just take that, I put that in my bio just as a reminder when I see it. Like, just heavy on it. Don't stop. Whatever I'm doing. So just motivate me to get extra work in, extra reps, even in class. Just like finish strong, whatever I do. So that's what heavy on it means.
Absolutely. Well, one thing I like wrapping up with is discussing your legacy. And I know something that all guys want to do. So when you are done playing basketball, what do you ultimately want to be remembered for? What do you want your legacy to be for what you achieve both on and off the court?
Well, on the court, I want to have a legacy. I want to play in the NBA. So just have a NBA legacy, just to say I could play in the NBA, and that'd be a huge accomplishment for me. And not only just playing in the NBA, like playing, but like solidifying myself in the NBA. That'd be a huge accomplishment. A huge part of my legacy, really. And then off the court, really just all around good person, help others, leader, just yeah, like I said, just an all around good person, like care for others, all that good stuff, and that I want my legacy. That's how I want my legacy to be seen off the court. So yeah, that's it.
And discuss your faith a little bit. I know you're a believer. Kind of talk about how God's helped get you to the point you're at today.
Yeah, just God is a big part. I just put all my faith in God, and He's guided me this far, and I just continue to put my faith in Him, and whatever His plans are for me, it'll happen. And I just have to put the work. I just have to put the work in and use the talents that He gave me and put them to use. And whatever He has destined for me, it'll become true. So,
Where would you say is the biggest time you've seen God show up in your life so far?
uh, so it was about, I would say, ninth grade, or no, it was eighth grade going into ninth grade, and I had got a staph infection in my blood, and I was in the hospital for about 8 days, and like just not playing basketball. I was like not sure if I would be able to play against things like that because of I thought it would be like worse than what it was. So that was like one of God's moments of where He showed, like, where I just put my faith in Him, and He just guided me to where I needed to be. And then so after that, I just continued to put my faith in God. That was one of the moments that was like an eye opener. Like, it could all be taken away, like literally right now. So just having that scare and just putting my faith in God is what I feel like just makes me believe even more that I can do anything as long as I put my faith in God. Because like just going from in the hospital to 8 day in the hospital for 8 days, learning how to walk again and all that type of stuff. Like it's just real hard. So just having my faith in God, that was the biggest part about that situation.
Amen, man. Well, my final thing for you, give Northwestern fans your three biggest goals you have set for a Northwestern career.
A Big Ten championship for sure. Um, probably want to come in and be Big Ten player, like Big Ten freshman of the year, and getting deep in the tournament. That's three goals that the fans could look forward to.
Absolutely, man. Well, I definitely appreciate taking time to come on today, and I can't wait to see what God's got next for you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, my guy.
Of course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.
Yep.